And welcome back to another wonderful episode of the Convoluted podcast. It's your host, Liz, and I'm with Tyrant Dominus, aka Jesus. And if it's your first time listening, please subscribe. But we're not really making you. But we would love the numbers. How's it going, Jesus? I don't know. I'm tired. I'm halfway loopy and excited all at the same time.
Yeah. I'm doing well. Busy week, as always. As the day of this recording, a few days ago, as you know, and you're in somewhere in the local area where you're at, we're getting into a little mini news story a little bit. I have some interesting stories for this, but there was an active shooter in the area you were at, and actually, like around in the city you were at, but more so in the vicinity where my sister was at, which was like, whoa. So my sister was in one of those like areas where they shut down the streets, have the SWAT team, like goddamn. It was crazy. Didn't you just get off work before?
No, I was just about to start work. Like I was a little over an hour before I had to, kind of get ready and go to work, and I was starting just to make my breakfast at that point, and I get the alert on my phone, because I'm signed up with my hospital to get that alert, if there's a code silver of different variations, because we have like 3 levels of code silver. If anybody knows that, it actually applies to like a lot of hospitals. It felt very fresh too, considering what happened in Portland too. Not that long ago. It was only a week or so ago that happened. That was crazy. We lost a security guard, and another nurse went down. It was not good. Not a good thing.
Wild.
It was crazy. I know. It was too fast. I was like, oh God, that's too close to home. Too close to home.
Literally. So to start with the first story, I wake up to a text during all of this, for our family home, our family text, everyone there, to say this is happening. Oh shit! I go out to the living room where my mom's on the phone, and I thought she was talking to my sister at this point, but no, she was not. So she didn't know anything of any of this was happening.
Oh wow! So
she
didn't know either.
So when she finally got off the phone, I was just waiting. So I was like, I'm not gonna tell you exactly. So she waited probably 5-10 minutes at most, finishing it. Then I tell her oh, this is happening, and she's like, what? Yeah. And here's the thing. So this is what's funny. My mom's sometimes she doesn't get the concept of stuff. So when she says is that really happening? That doesn't happen in that area. And I told my mom, America, this happens anywhere. And then but it's so early in the morning. Mom, it can happen at any time of the day. And she just didn't get the concept that in such a, you would think there's always crime happening everywhere. Sometimes it's just a scale thing and what's reported. And that's what we've talked about this. It's any crimes and stuff like that. There's a lot of crimes that don't get reported, and there's some things that get overblown. And it's one of those things. But my mom's did not first the idea of a shooting happening in that area was beyond her. And on top of that, during this time of day, that's just wow. Yeah. And I'm like, Mom, this is America. It can happen whenever. They could have had breakfast and gone straight there. And I was like, yeah, it was really hilarious at that point. And I don't know. It's just it's when when talking to my mom with concept like that, because we're still kind of waiting for communication back and forth from my sister. But yeah, I was like, Mom, really? This is happens all the time. We talk about it all the time. So this was not so surprising, but it was closer to home in the sense of news. But it's like I wasn't surprised. It's scary, but I like, yeah, this happens. Like, yeah, that was kind of like it. Now, the second story that my sister told me that was happening, so during the lockdown, during all this, apparently, so for anyone who wonders how certain things get locked down, different stores and different stores have different protocols and stuff. But for the most part, there's the general consensus is they lock the store down. Any of the stores in the vicinity shut down to keep customers safe and all that stuff. That is the general consensus. I think that I can say that. I can blanket statement that. That's kind of the like. So I think if I'm remembering what my sister told me, they were in lockdown for I can actually check for like 5 hours because they were.
That sounds about right.
So they were because from the initial beginning to the end, they had a couple people in their store, so they had to once they went into lockdown, locked the store, got and made sure everyone because they were all hiding in the back room and stuff like that. And apparently the manager, while they were kind of mid lockdown, apparently they heard tapping and they didn't do anything until the manager at the time noticed that there was a woman out in the door as he was making some final checks, and she's apparently somehow this woman during the lockdown got into the plaza area and was asking to see why the store was closed.
Oh, okay. So I know something about that plaza. Oh. It's funny. So there is a walk pathway that is connected to that is connected over to the freeway, and so like it's a huge park area. So you can go from the parks, and it actually all connects into that one. So you can actually walk to the backside of it. So I've done that myself, where I walked up behind it, and under the freeway.
Okay, so that's how she probably got there, right? That would, but you would think you would notice something when there's like cops and everything and SWAT team, but I digress. So apparently, the manager's like no, we're currently in lockdown and stuff, and this is what the customer said, and I'm paraphrasing, but apparently it was, she was asking, so I can't make these returns at the moment.
Yeah, it's on lockdown, dumbass. What a Karen. What a Karen. People. Even
when there's active shooter in there, you still need to get your return. So
I still need to redo my return. There's a shooting? Oh, that's okay. It's America. I do not get people. What is up with that? That is hilarious on so many levels. I mean, we were on lockdown. We weren't even accepting patients. How bad of that was.
So yeah, okay. So yeah, let's on that perspective. What was happening during this time for you?
So I got the alert on my phone. I'm signed up with the alerts through work, and they alert us to let us know that we are in lockdown. So we did. I did lockdown protocols. We are able to badge into anywhere. All the doors are closed except for the emergency entrance. So everybody has to go through the emergency entrance. It doesn't matter who you are. Except by badge, if you have a badge and get into like certain areas and access. So I walked in and I badged in, and one of my bosses leaving with a couple of the technicians who had done the terminal cleaning for our IV room. And so we had the IVs cleaned, and they were leaving, and he's holding, the mortar and pestle, right? It's the hard thing where you muddle things together.
Oh, yes.
It's in a mortar and pestle.
Yeah.
So he's carrying the pestle around. And I go, so what are you going to do? Muddle the gunman to death?
Bruh.
Damn.
I'm sorry, but not sorry because it's all true. Like, what is this thing going to do to the gun? Like,
not a single fuck
because
was
we had no
given this
idea what was
day.
going on. We thought it was apartments across the way. It wound up being around the corner from us, but it's still like not too far from us. And I was like laughing my head off. I'm like, what do you do with this situation? They're not going to be able to leave out the front way, so they had to go through that way. And they were like being safe and having. I get it, hey boss man, can you walk us through our cars and make sure it's safe, blah blah blah. But I was just laughing. I'm like, a pestle? What are you doing with a pestle? You gonna muddle the guy to death or something?
Bruh.
It was a good laugh. I shouldn't have laughed, but it was like one of those things like a gun to a pestle. I guess if you aim it right perfectly, probably be able to smack him and deter him for a moment.
It is one of those things you just don't know. Well, interesting enough, I had to redo some like computer training, and that morning I had to actually do active shooter training too. So I was like, whoa.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
That is a weird day. Yesterday was definitely a weird day to have that happen on a random Wednesday, and like it was just like, what's going on?
So
I mean, I still had to do my job, but it was just like, what do you do?
just never know.
Yeah. Of course, as soon as the lockdown was lifted, everybody started showing up. I'm like, lovely day in the ED.
Now the work's back, right? There goes the calm day. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a weird calm day, and then then there's just like that peaked up. I was like, ugh.
Yeah, it kind of then after we finally got a phone call from my sister after kind of the lockdown was lifted, but they still had to go through the protocol of talking to the cops and all that stuff. They all came home early, and went from there, and then we just literally had lunch. that was it. And it's sometimes
so they were able to close down for the rest of the day.
As far as I was confirmed, probably other businesses didn't. It probably was a per company business. Probably like Best Buy didn't. Just never know. I don't know. But I know that her workplace they just shut down for the day. So, but yeah,
it was traumatic, and to be locked down for like 35 hours, that's like done.
I don't know. Some companies like, it's over. Get back to work. It is what it is, right? It is what it is.
I mean, like my job. Oh, it's over. Keep going.
Exactly.
Keep helping your patients.
So yeah. So that's kind of something that happened recently. It was crazy. A little bit like, okay. Something in the near America near us, right? But yeah,
I felt like I was back in California again, all over again. Always the sirens, always the shootings. Never know.
I'm trying to think because it used to be. It wasn't as bad in Chicago. Like we lived in a rough part of Chicago growing up, but it was like that rough area where even if bad things were happening, even if you call the cops, it took like still 15 to 30 minutes for anything to happen. So it was like I didn't hear cops that often, but at least in this since we moved in our area, it's pretty quiet, and it's one of those few things like when you live in a more safer is an interesting
it's a weak term,
but I'll say it as a loose term, but a more quiet. I'll say quiet. That's the best way I can describe it. It's quiet. It's a more quiet area. So. But for sure, it's like I told my mom, it can happen at anywhere at any time. And yeah,
it's America.
It's exactly. So yeah. So anything else that happened recently? I know. Oh, one thing I know is one of my new songs released at the time. So my new song's actually been doing fun. If anyone knows, I release a song I release like 1 or 2 songs every other month when I get bored. I like make music. I like when I get bored after work doing something and I'm just in my office and I'm just like hit with some like boredom. I start just messing with loops and stuff like that. And I make a song, and if I like it enough, I'm like, I'll make it into a song and upload it to the. And the latest one, Chasing Shadows, just came out a little bit ago. It's been doing fine. I like it. Like I said, when I make anything for including like this podcast, I make it a mix for the audience, but more so it's like for me. Like The only reason like you and me are doing this because we enjoy making the podcast, and that's kind of the same thing with I do with music. Like I enjoyed making the song. If anyone out there would like to listen to it and enjoys it, go ahead and listen to it. And yeah, Chasing Shadows. It's on the. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you're watching this podcast on YouTube, it's on the same channel. Now Liz, to see if Liz is a real friend, did you hear Chasing Shadows?
Didn't know you released a song.
It's on our Discord, Liz. It's on our Discord.
Dude, like I had time between a birthday and work and lockdown.
It's a minute and a half, Liz. Brush.
Again. I work.
There you go. Liz.
I know you don't.
Liz can't take a minute of her lives in a bathroom break just to listen to one song.
I'm focused on peeing. I'm sorry.
But anyways, yeah, that's it. Nothing really else to report there. But yeah, okay, let's jump into some news stories in a bit. But as always, everyone, if you want to support us, you can support us by sharing the show on any social medias, Twitter, it's not even Twitter anymore. It's called X now. On X, yeah, we won't talk about that. We might one day, but yep, you can talk about
don't
it.
Worry.
Yep. You can share it on X, Instagram, Facebook,
Threads.
Yeah, Threads. Yeah, thank you. I almost forgot about Threads. It's kind of lulled a little bit, but yeah, Threads, or one of the best ways is word of mouth. Word of mouth is one of the best ways you can talk about our shows. Just let people know about us. It's the best way to promote us. It helps a lot. And if you want to support us financially, you can do that by purchasing merch at merch.tyrantdominus.com. Links down below. And you can pick yourself up some merch like the one I'm currently wearing. And it helps us support us and helps us pay off some of the little things that we have to do for the show. And you can get something out of it as return. It's always been my methodology that if I'm supporting someone, it doesn't hurt to get something back. If be it a shirt, a postcard or something like that. And that's why we made merch. So you can support us and get something as well. And I think that's really it. So let's jump with this first story. This is a story that's been in development. We were going to talk about it initially, but I'm glad we kind of waited because it was already pretty sketchy. You want to do the story or do you want me to jump into this one?
Why don't you jump into it?
Okay. Let me just take a little.
Bruh.
Beer for the soul.
Yeah, I know. Let me move this one. Okay. Carly Russell admits she was not kidnapped and apologizes through her lawyer. Criminal charges still possible. So Carly Nicole Russell was not kidnapped earlier this month. She admitted through an attorney on Monday. Hoover, Alabama police read the statement on Monday during the press conference in which they said criminal charges were possible. There was no kidnapping on July 13th, so it's been 2 weeks, roughly. Yeah, right. Yeah, 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
My client did not see a baby and did not leave the Hoover area. She did not have an accomplice. She was not in a hotel or was with anyone while she was missing. My client did not have a help in the incident that she was in was a single act alone by herself. The statement continued. My client was not with anyone in any hotel with anyone from the time she was missing. My client apologized for her actions to the community, the volunteers who were searching for her, the Hoover Police Department and other agencies, as well as her friends and family. Anthony went back and asked for prayers while Russell addresses her issues and attempted to move forward. Understand that she made mistakes in the matter. Adding Carly again asked for your forgiveness and Carly, thank you, prayers. So the main story, the original story was that 25-year-old Alabama woman disappeared after calling 911 on the night of the July 13th after telling the dispatcher that she stopped along I-459. I don't know why that took forever to read. On her way home from work after seeing a toddler walking by herself in a diaper along the highway. And when officials arrived at the scene, they found Russell's car still running with her belongings inside while she was nowhere to be found. After more than a statewide search that lasted 48 hours, Russell reappeared at her parents' house in Hoover on Saturday night. The police said that they were unable to verify her claims about the missing toddlers and any other details after the 911 call. So that's kind of the gist. We don't have to go anymore, but that was the original gist, that she went missing after she made a 911 call because she spotted, quote, a toddler, right? And then it's now been like weeks later that no, it was all a lie. So
that's crazy.
so
I don't like people like that. I don't know why she did that for the 5 seconds of fame, but it's obviously gonna have some huge backlash.
oh yeah,
So.
they're definitely she now here's my first question to you. Should she get charged? Should she get charges? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because that is ridiculous. She wasted man time on things that could have been more prevalent than her missing. Her missing. So you know what I mean? Like, it's just not real truly missing. She obviously had an elaborate plan, so
So yeah, I believe I agree with you on there. I don't know. The thing is, it's also one of those things that she in the first like after she returned and after all this, she was starting to get people, because after she made her original statements, they sounded already kind of fishy already, and people were like speculating, because there's internet detectives always get a little bit like something's just not right. And within those 2 weeks of everyone speculating and stuff like that, that was the one thing I was gonna talk with you about, some of this weird stuff with her initial thing. But it's because her story was like you want to believe someone when some incidents like this happen, right? But it's like when things start to be sketchy, it's like hard to believe someone, and it makes it harder for whenever anything like this happens. And there was a couple statements on X or Twitter, whatever, just Twitter and Instagram, making a TikTok on all these things, making notes that, hey, why are you potentially lying? Now we know she was lying, because it makes it harder for Black women to basically be taken seriously.
serious. She literally cried wolf. When you think about it, it's a cry wolf thing, and that's not cool. There's a lot of people who are going to be needing assistance, and because she put a dent, we already have a backwards country right now. I feel like we're not letting people's voices be heard, and this is going to really play down to everybody else who really is truly missing and are gone or can't be found.
No, yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt any. It doesn't help anyone. It just, and we don't know the truth or anything. They have, like, the only statement we have is from what her lawyer state, and I don't know. And here's another one. So during the whole thing, her boyfriend, now ex-boyfriend, was really defending her. Like, she's gone through a lot. Just leave her be. Mental health and all that stuff, right? Because you never know when people are going through
emotional damage.
But so he went through all this defending her, to then when she found out like he was lying, like, what the fuck? Like, he's more in the right to just leave her after that, because him and his family, like, were defending her and her family during those whole things, because you want to be a supportive partner at that time after all this. And he did, like, because remember, she was getting a lot of backlash prior the statement, that were like, because it looked sketchy. It was sketchy to begin with. Mm-hmm. And then like she just lost her relationship with probably a really good guy, who was like,
yeah, you always want somebody in your corner, but now that she literally just fucked it up, basically.
So if we ever do get a reason why, like, I kind of want to know, but like, I don't know, it's just another dumb individual wasting, like, resources, people's time, and then just hurting and then hurting not only the
people around her,
people around her, but also hurting, like, people who are actually kidnapped or who's taken seriously, not only the women community but the Black community, just like all just wrapped
women of color, essentially, because it does affect everybody, women of color.
Exactly. It's just like, it's harder to it just makes it overall just hard for when people are to be taken seriously. That's what I want to say, to be taken seriously, because then just people start doing the internet detective and they're like, oh no, like what's the actual truth, right? So it's, I don't know. What would you have done if something like that happened around here? Like we were like in our area.
Somebody made a falsified thing. I probably wouldn't like him. Be like shunning him in public. Be like, that's not cool. That's
Here's
not
the thing.
cool at all.
Like, let's go with the second statement of her. What would you do if one of your family members went missing, then you found out they didn't? Like what she did.
I wouldn't put up with it. Be like, nah. Hey, you could be a permanent black sheep in our family. Literally.
Damn, Liz just starting to excommunicate everyone from her family. Anyone who's like being an idiot.
Oh, it happens all the time in our family. What are you talking about?
No, that's true. Well, I think
Matter of time of acceptance coming back into it.
That is yeah, for sure. I don't know. I think I've mentioned it. We have like, I think in our family there's like four that I know that are been like completely removed from our family. They're like no longer associated. No, like that I know of. There's probably more when I was younger. But yeah, for sure, some people who have done stupid things or horrible things, they're like cut ties completely. And it's one of those things where you're like, you can lose a lot of good people because of some stupid. This is pretty stupid. Like it was literally like almost a prank phone call at this point. And definitely,
She's 30-some years old. Is that right?
She was 25.
Grow the fuck up. Oh, she's still gonna grow the fuck up. She's 25.
So yeah, and I hope she gets at least. So it's gonna be a fine for sure. But yeah, it should
Probably some jail time, maybe probation at least.
You think jail time? Well, I don't think so. Like, well,
I think probation at least.
Probate maybe. Well, because what would it be? Making a
she brought. I'm assuming the FBI was brought in on this too.
Falsify charges. Let's see here. Charges for falsifying 911 call.
Falsifying.
What would it be?
Kidnapping. Falsifying kidnapping, because it's kidnapping charges.
Charges for false. Oh hell. Falsifying kidnapping. Here we go. So the tip. This is just a general statement. What I'm seeing. It's typically up to a year in jail or up to $1,000 in fine. $1,000 in fines. That's it.
Really?
That's what. Okay, there's just a general lookup. So, oh, here we go. There's a what charges could. There we go. Let me here. I'll send you the article. Someone looked it up for us. Thank you, articles.
They did the work for us. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, and here. You can read it while I play the statement from the actual guy from the.
Okay, so I read it and you're gonna play it. Okay.
Yeah, there's a statement from the. Oh my God, the chief of police, I think.
Good afternoon. Thanks to everyone for attending again today. I want to thank the members of our department and all of law enforcement who played a role in the investigation of this case. Out of the road. My client did not leave the Hoover area when she was identified as a missing person. My client did not have any help in this incident, but this was a single act done by herself. My client was not with anyone or any hotel with anyone during the time she was missing. My client apologizes for her actions to this community, the volunteers who were searching for her, to the Hoover Police Department and other agencies as well, as to her friends and family. We ask for your prayers for Carly as she addresses her issues and attempts to move forward understanding that she made a mistake in this matter. Carly, again, ask for your forgiveness and prayers.
Okay, you guys, you just heard the statement that was made by the chief of police. I think that's the chief of police, the one you always hear during the press conferences. Okay, so did you look into what her charges might be?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the possible charges here?
A Class A misdemeanor are punishable by not more than a year in county jail or a year of labor in the county, according to the state
Probation.
statute.
Yeah. That's it.
So I like probation. Yeah, that's all it said.
Okay.
I don't see anything about fine, but I'm assuming they probably will be.
So my question is, is that enough in your opinion?
No. Is it, how much is the search for the, it says all hands on deck, the search began on July 13th. We don't have a dollar figure yet, but we're certainly working on getting more in only hours. But the other agencies, they gave us a lot of support. It's an elaborate deal. Because it was help from everywhere. So yeah. I just think it's messed up on so many levels. Yeah.
It's a waste of
face jail, probation, essentially. So
yeah, we'll see. Well, like we said, we'll see and see what
maybe
happens.
Both. Who knows? They didn't say and or.
So we'll see with that. But yeah, it's some people, man. It's just what goes through your head sometimes. Where like you're just on the road.
He's not mentally well in that person's head. That's for sure.
Probably. Okay. What story do you want to go into next? What are you feeling after that one?
Well, I feel like we're in the same set of cops.
Oh, you want to go with that one? Yeah, let's go with that one then. This one's interesting too.
So messed up too.
Yep, like always, this is our stories.
This is America. We just need a button that says America on it now. Ohio police officer was released, who released police officer's dog onto the black man with hands raised is fired. Ohio officer who was handling a black police dog that mauled a black man after he was surrendered to authorities with his hands raised has been fired, authorities said. So Circle View police officer Ryan Speakman released the dog when I'm going to mutilate this guy's name. Jadarius Rose was stopped on July 4th, police said in a statement. Officer Speakman said not meet the standards and expectations we hold for our police officers. Officer Speakman has been terminated from the department effective immediately. The statement said the Speakman could not immediately be reached for comment Wednesday afternoon. The Ohio Patrolmen's Benevolent Association said on Facebook that Speakman had been terminated without just cause and that the union senior counsel had filed a grievance. Speakman was fired contrary to mandatory principles of progressive discipline, the union said. The police department's use of force review board determined that canine policy was followed in the apprehension and the arrest, the statement said. Yeah.
So basically, So
yeah, that's basically what it's saying. Rose 23 was driving a semi-tractor trailer when a motor carrier enforcement inspector with the state highway patrol tried to stop him because the trailer was missing a left rear mud flap. Really?
That's it. That's all it was, because it was a mud flap. Yeah. So they were trying to pull him over, but then he kind of got freaked out because there were guns pulled on him, and then he just kept going. And he was on a 911 call with the dispatch telling him no, I don't want to stop because you have guns on me. And then when they pulled him over, finally, I didn't want to stop because you guys had guns, and they finally, and I wonder if they. Let me see.
I don't blame the guy. I mean, he's an African American. I mean, or a black guy. I don't know which one we want to re-reference it.
Okay, so let's.
Both.
So I'm gonna play the audio, everyone. So do you see that there's a video, Liz, in the center? Okay.
I'll put my volume down and I'll watch it.
Okay, I'll play the audio for our listeners. If it's playing, come on. Why is it not doing it? Come on. Really?
I mind to play right away.
Lucky. Sorry, listeners. Liz gets the advanced showing. She gets early releases.
Who's seen on video
what? You could see the guy was out and he was raising his hands and he's on his knees. Shit! What the fuck? Why would you release that guy?
Don't release the dog.
A state trooper repeatedly warned the local officer outside Columbus, Ohio.
I'm gonna play the audio. Sorry, everyone. Okay, here we go. We'll be quiet a little bit.
To his canine.
Do not release the dog with his hands up. Don't
In this edited video released by the Ohio State Highway Patrol, you can see a suspect raise his hands in an apparent surrender. But officials say Circleville officer Ryan Speakman still unleashed his dog on the unarmed man.
Get the dog off of him! Get the dog!
Nothing like this should ever happen to anybody.
Circleville's mayor says following the July 4th incident, the officer was placed on paid administrative leave, but not right away.
Why was he not immediately put on
I cannot answer that question. I don't know.
Anyways, there you go. Yeah, you can. Did you get to hear a little bit of the audio?
I watched this the CCs.
So yeah, it's like there's everyone, because there's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of cops in this situation. It was a long car chase, but for sure you could hear everyone. All right, like he has his hands up. He don't release the dog. Like, okay, that sounds pretty standard, but for some reason this one ex-officer just like decides to let go of the dog, and like, come on. And once again, another stupid individual. And he lost his job now. Lost all chances to, yeah, it's like, come on. All you had to do was not let go of the collar of a dog. And oh God. Go ahead.
It's very, very close. I don't know if you watched the last little bit about being the 1960s, how they used to do that to the dogs, make them sick, especially during like the protest.
Oh, I didn't get. I only watched up to the statement with the mayor.
I watched the full 2.5 minutes or a little over. But yeah, it does resemble to that. I don't know if that was very controversial and very disheartening. It's disgusting on so many levels having these canine dogs go and sick Black people. The protesting. I don't understand why he was. I mean, I understand from his thing, like, yeah, it's not a good time to be a man of color, a woman of color, basically in the States. But just wow, it's crazy. I hope he gets to sue the family who did that to him. I mean,
well,
get some sort of justice. He's got to get something. He shouldn't have been arrested for not, having a mud flap, but he wasn't.
Well, he did. Okay,
he was concerned too.
So this is Rose was charged with the failure to comply with the order or signal of police officers, a fourth-degree felony, according to the Highway Patrol, and can face up to 6 to 18 months in prison. So that's what he's charged with. So he might get 6 to 18 months in prison. But
probably get the 6 on a bet because of everything that went down.
Probably, or probably he'll get some leeway. But anyway, but he's probably gonna, thanks to social media and all this coverage, he's probably gonna sue the Department of Circleville. That's an interesting name. I think that's what's right, Circleville, for some compensation, because yeah, it's that was uncalled for. Like, I understand the when it's appropriate to use the canine units, they're there for a specific reason. But this one for sure, it's like, you dumb fucked up. You dumb fucked up. And it's just one of,
fuck me, right?
I just don't understand how some people, something so simple, and yeah. I'm hoping for the best. He was Rose was like already acting a little. It's hard, no matter what. In America, it's really suspicious. Cops, for the most part, aren't well trusted. The people who are supposed to protect us are not known to protect us. That's kind of been the running joke at this point, that you can't really, as much as they're there to help us, it's like more than likely you'll end up in this situation. It's right. Like, sorry, what?
Yeah, right. That's what I was saying.
So yeah, I don't think we have anything more to say about this. It's stupid. I hope he for the most part, if Rose should just get fined or penalized for what he did, and then he should return back for what he was dealt with afterwards. Like, he still did something wrong, but he should not have deserved what he got at that point.
No, he didn't.
No one does. No one does. But
nobody does.
But it's America. Okay, let's see here. Where are we at time? Okay, let's jump into some of these videos that we have. Yes.
Okay, which one are we going for?
We're gonna first start off with some drama. So give us a second, everyone. Okay. All right,
Oh
everyone.
boy.
All right, we're gonna dip our feet into a little bit of drama, and stuff like that. So we're gonna be watching Mogul Mail with Ludwig. I think he best emphasizes kind of what our what thoughts are with this situation. Now I'm gonna start by saying, Liz, do you know who Doja Cat is?
Yeah, she's a singer, I believe.
Okay, so here we go. Let's hopefully he explains most of it. We're not gonna watch the whole thing, but we'll get to the gist of
Or
it.
do I? Is it even possible for a creator to love their fans? Or vice versa? Can a fan love a creator? Really, can they love them? Those are questions we're going to tackle today, but not about me, about someone much bigger than me, Doja Cat, who's in the news for saying that she doesn't love her fans because she doesn't even know them. You probably
Okay.
It makes sense. It's like, oh, I don't, it's like meeting somebody for the first time and be like, I don't love you. Like,
So okay, yeah. So we'll start with what the general premise is. It's like a lot when it comes to stardom or stuff like that. People like quote love the individual and things like that. Like people love their music, their movies, and it's like actors, personalities, things like that. And yeah, it's like it can get pretty. Some people get to like levels. What's the best one? Like the Eminem songs, Stan level of like craziness, right? And it's like and it can be tough for creators like anyone, artists and things like that. So but there's a level of like where's the what's the line, the barrier between artists or creators and their audiences, right? So let's kind of see what she said here. I don't know, y'all.
know Doja Cat at the very least from this song.
Bruh.
And that's all I got because I want to get paid for this video. Doja Cat on Threads in a I don't know what you call it, a thread, I suppose, said, "My life, my rules, my style, my attitude." And then someone replied and said, "I want to hear you say I do love you guys as usual you say to your fans."
Wait, I want to hear you say I do love you guys as you say to your fans. Wait, what? As usual you say, wait. Is that, am I reading that wrong?
No, as usual, you say to your fans. Excuse me.
I don't understand that.
I think it's from. It might be a way of how it got translated. It does say Doja Cat Iran. So.
Oh, it's probably one of those. It's a fan account. Okay. I'm saying thank you. It's a fan account. Go Doja Cat Iran then. They really like her over there. Well, yeah, they're popular people make things like that. Okay, continue.
Which I don't think is grammatically correct, but the point sustains. And she said, "I don't though, because I don't even know y'all," which is something I've said in the past, right? So I mean this on Twitter. I said, I've been said this for years now. I'm not your friend. I had that whole video series. And then it goes farther with a Daily Taylor Swift T account who said, "We don't know you, but we have supported you through thick and thin. Mind you, you'd be nothing without us. You'd be working at a grocery store making songs on GarageBand, Miss High School Dropout."
Damn. Okay. What are your
that in a burn? It's true though. I mean, without your fan base, you wouldn't be who you are today.
But should they be required to quote love their fans?
No, I don't think that's that. But
Okay, let's continue. We can okay. You make your statement. If you have a statement, then we'll continue. What was your statement?
I get it. Like, yes, you don't need to love your fans, but you definitely shouldn't like them for making you where you are and who you are instead of a high school dropout in a band.
Okay. Yeah.
And she said, "Nobody forced you. I don't know why you're talking to me like my mother, you bitch. You sound crazy." Which honestly, very
that Doja Cat though for you. Yeah, I can hear it in her voice. But anyways, continuing.
very slime pilled. I'm a fan of that. But this is not where it ended. And although if you just take that little piece out of context, you might instantly be on Doja Cat's side, there's a little more to this story. Specifically, a couple follow-up threads where Doja Cat lit the site on fire with 233 likes by saying, "My fans don't name themselves shit. If you call yourself a kitten or kittens," which I guess would be the equivalent of like Ludbuds, which is a name I've begrudgingly used in the past when I've had.
So yeah, it's like this. It's like those people who their fan bases call themselves something. You know how like Taylor Swift's fans are called Swifties. My God, I'm trying to remember. Who, I know there's a few other ones. I don't want to.
I'm not in depth.
I know a few of them, but I don't want to misrepresent some of them because then we'll get attacked on the comments. I think I want to say
just tell it as it is to us, guys. We don't really know, okay?
We don't. I think Beyonce's are because I think Beyonce's Queen Bee, right?
I think so. Believe so. I don't know.
Oh my God, what are they called now? Oh, anyway, but yeah, it's like one of these like they have their names. So let's see here. I need here. My fans don't name themselves shit. If you call yourselves a kitten or a fucking kittens, that means you need to get off your phone and get a job and help your parents with the house. So
there you go.
That's a little.
Some of those kids are not able to work yet. Not able to.
That means you need to get off your phone and get a job and help your parents with the house. And then someone said, "What should I change my name to?" And then she said, "Delete the entire account and rethink everything. It's never too late to build something good and genuine." Which
thoughts, Liz? And that statement to her audience.
She's not wrong. She's not wrong. I mean, you should be focusing on yourself.
Okay, let's continue then.
Everything, it's never too late to build something good and genuine. Which honestly, I would argue, super based. Everything Doja Cat has dropped so far, I'm like, damn, Doja, you're spitting bars today. But where does the drama come in?
Here it comes.
With most things in life, a bit of hypocrisy. Because Doja Cat herself has tweeted before, "Kittens and Barbs," which is the name of her viewer base, and then also Nicki Minaj's viewer base. Nicki Minaj took over my Say So playlist, Connect Now to Unlock, which is clearly her just...
It's a little bit of, what is it, hypocrisy there? I think that's the term. Like, you're being hypocritical at that point, because she is calling her fan base
kittens.
And, like, yeah, that's when, it's when you start, like, it starts to pop off. Let's see what happens more.
Just with a sponsored post for Spotify or something, using the name for money. So, you know, it's a little hypocritical. If you're going to admonish someone and say delete your account, you probably don't use it yourself to get a bag. But in response to this, the kittens have deactivated en masse. All the people who make fan accounts talking about Doja Cat and Doja Cat news are gone. They're out.
Oh, wow. They actually deleted their accounts.
They follow through.
So, you know, because you're not very, like we always say this, Liz is not an internet person. She is not an internet degen. Like anything she knows is because we talk about it on the show or I tell her about, because she's not.
I listen to it. I find out about it somehow other way around. Jesus is not my only lifeline.
because if Liz understood even a portion of what I knew of what was happening, she would be more disappointed in the human population. Because there are people who literally spend their days with fan accounts, multiple fan accounts, because they can be running like 5-10 accounts, not earning any money sometimes, at most of the times, and they're just wasting their time. And for the most part, it can be like, I really love this actor, it can be a fan account for a TV show or movie or things like that, but
I have one. Don't worry, I follow one.
Liz follows one, but it's like for the most part, if you're spending that much time to do that, like you should at least be earning a little bit of something. If not, it's just kind of why do it when then people are complaining, stuff like that. But I digress on that. But sometimes, you know, we'll see what happens with it without these accounts. because sometimes these accounts are how people get their news about Doja Cat, and or not just Doja Cat, but just anything. Because I follow a couple of these quote fan accounts that do news articles or movie things like that. It's like I don't just follow the main accounts of like studios and stuff like that, because sometimes I just want like, oh, breaking news of something that isn't official. It's just like, oh, speculation. But let's continue.
They're done working for free, talking about all the Doja Cat updates. And not only that, she has lost 600,000 followers on Instagram.
So, so her followers are now off Instagram. That's 6,000 is it's not
100,000's a lot.
No matter
That's
what,
a lot of people.
That's a lot of accounts. It might be some of the deactivated fan accounts too, but it might be just some fallen fans as well. But that's not a low number. That's not a low number.
Like 5,000. It's 600.
Like I wish we could get that level of just our listenership. Like we get 3 digits, but like not that level of stuff. But yeah, let's continue.
Seems crazy to you. It's because I haven't yet told you about the elephant in the room. It's not a fat joke, but I'm talking about this dude. Normal sized guy. It's a saying. This dude right here is where all the drama stems from. And we got to talk about him to fully understand all the drama. But first,
wait, what? Okay, are you interested? Because I'm confused now.
I'm piqued. I'm intrigued how this all plays apart.
It is worth doing a little bit of an update, because I did make a video called I'm Not Your Friend, which I honestly hate that I made. I agree with everything I said in the video, but like it's more a meme now than anything. The meme is much more pervasive than the actual content of the video itself. And so anytime the word parasocial is brought up, my name is cursed like a sun god or something. But everything I said is basically bit bar for bar from Bo Burnham's Make Happy, which I have illegally ripped to show you guys here. So hopefully Netflix, we're chill.
Okay, double checking.
I don't. You don't want that.
Bruh.
Desperate sort of cloying thing from an entertainer. My fans, they stick with me through everything, through thick and thin. Do not stick with me through thick. If I stop entertaining you, throw me to the curb. You wouldn't stick with your mechanic if you stopped fixing your car. I am in a service industry. I'm just overpaid.
Not a single fuck was given this day. I thought myself the same way
for a long time. I have my moment in the sun, but it will pass, right? This channel will be gone. The website that it is hosted on will be gone. All the data will be gone. Eventually, this is true. I'm just happy to be around while I'm around, and hopefully I make a positive impact while I'm around. But
same with us. Same with us. We're here just to have a little fun and probably entertain some people along the way. Yeah, it's like at the end of the day, we are here just to have fun for ourselves. Like we stated earlier, like we're here to just have fun for like your and my sake, and then along the way, if people enjoy this, like we're just entertainers at the end of the day.
But make no illusion. If I do some dumb shit, leave, right? Please do not try to defend me, all right? Let me whip out the ukulele. Let me dig my own grave. Don't start trying to get me out of it. That's at least how I've lived my life. And that's why I made the I'm Not Your Friend video in the first place. So on all of those points, I basically agree 100% with Doja Cat. I think a lot of her fans are probably a little too deep in the parasocial sauce, which is only a problem, by the way, if it supersedes other relationships in life, right? Like if you spend all day on Twitter trying to defend Doja Cat and you're terminally online, but you're close friends, or maybe you are lacking close friends, or your family who you might not be as close to because you're spending so much time online, loving someone you view online. Like that's the problem I see. That's what I worry about. I worry that someone gets too attached. And I don't think I have.
I think that's what we were stating earlier. It's like those people who are like I stated earlier, like
become stalkers and
all those weird. Well, it's just people who just are chronically online. Like I like for the amount of information of the internet stuff that I know, I am only like a tippy toe in any of this stuff. But there are people who like spend their days, hours in this. They're like full swimming in this stuff, and I'm just like dipping my toes in this shit. like I can only imagine how much time people just waste on that, and then they dive into this for negative and positive reasons. Like people, the positive, the fan base, but then there's those negative haters and stuff like that. It's wild.
That problem.
Yeah,
to be honest, you know, I if anything, I probably need to go further the other way, so people stick around and watch what I'm doing. But that's it. That's it. I'd rather people focus on their own life. But let's get back to Doja Cat and the drama at
Let's see what happened.
Which started again with this dude who is and looks like a Twitch streamer. Jay Cyrus is the name. Started as a Vine comedian turned Twitch streamer. Jay Cyrus has been getting non-stop harassed by Doja Cat fans, like insane amounts. He tweeted out water. The replies were insane. We know your secret. Leave her alone. What you need is a treadmill. Stay away from my mom, weirdo. Free Baldy, which is Doja Cat. You seem wait. Why are you deleting problematic tweets already? Fuck you, bitch, fatty. You're ugly. Okay, Jesus. All right, this is getting really
man.
bad.
He was getting a lot of hate.
The premise is stay away from Doja Cat, which is weird because she's an adult woman who has decided to date this man.
Okay, what are your thoughts, Liz, after seeing that? Because you know what? Here's the thing. That is a normal thread. What you saw there, that's normal.
Yeah, no, I don't like that. No, that's wrong on so many levels. No, I don't. That's crazy. That I think I understand why Doja did that because she was defending her newest boy toy.
We don't know yet. We don't know. Let's not make that statement yet. Allege. Maybe we'll go with that. We'll probably get more in a second. Well, once we get more.
But yeah.
But it could just been a friend.
Dating. So what if they're dating? It doesn't matter. Like, okay, I get it. But at the same time, I don't get it. Yeah. It's crazy how that a lot of Doja people are like, yeah, let's on him because they're supposedly dating or seeing each other or whatever you want to call it.
All right, we'll see. Let's continue then.
But the fans are interceding in a way. They seem very attached to Doja Cat, and they're worried about this guy ruining Doja Cat. But why? Is it valid? This seems to be very pervasive, more than maybe most relationships, because there's always going to be some weirdos, some stalkers, some crazies who are too attached. But this is kind of en masse. And it's so crazy that Doja Cat has gone to defending the guy now. Leave that white man, in reply to a Doja Cat Instagram post. And she said, he's fucking me as I type this, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Read that, Liz. Read that. No, read it out loud, Liz. The audience can't.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you want me to read it out loud.
This is an audio podcast.
I forgot. My bad. Sorry. I've already got you listed on cybersecurity, and I have all the screenshots of everything you've said in your chat and conversations you shared with other people on here about getting blocked from the stream. Have a nice day. Wow.
She's even resorted, and this is not fake, to becoming a moderator. She's a white knight Twitch mod. Doja Cat. 26 million Instagram followers.
Damn, she's a mod. That's hilarious.
I've already listed you on cybersecurity. This is from Doja Cat, and have all the screenshots of everything you've said in chat and conversations you've shared with other people on here about getting blocked from the stream. Have a nice day.
Damn.
And she's gone full slime on this guy. But what is it with this guy? Let's get to the actual.
Okay, so who is this guy?
Why is everybody so upset at Jay Cyrus, who is in his own right a successful streamer? He had about the average viewership that I had when I first went full-time in 2020, but then all of a sudden stopped streaming in 2021.
Okay.
Stopped streaming in most of 2022, came back maybe a little partway through, and is now back to streaming in the past year or so with less viewership. What was up with that break? What happened? This is the allegations from someone on Twitter who said, sorry, Doja Cat, for letting you know your man had abused and taken advantage of so many women. And let's not say how he was in mine and other minors at the time's DMs, but thank you for listening. It's not like I was also a huge fan of yours, because I think she told Doja Cat about this and then Doja Cat blocked her. And this tweet.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, so that
makes sense.
There's some allegations that this happens. We've talked about this a lot. This happens a lot on any sphere. Hollywood, online streamers, YouTubers, this happens a lot. So that's kind of, so let's kind of see a little bit more because he's back streaming. So maybe those allegations were cleared and stuff like that. But for sure, it can, if they're false, it does take a mental toll on an individual because they're just getting harassed with all these allegations. But that's just us speculating. We'll see what happens in a little bit. But yeah, that can take a toll. And mostly if your friend is going through this too, you kind of want to, like what we said earlier, with Carly, I think that was her name. There can be people defending you, but then it's tough. Let's continue then.
This tweet did numbies. 24 million views. This shit would break Threads in a day if it got that amount of views on it. And this corroborates it a little bit. I've gotten deep in the sauce at this point. This is
Twitlonger, man. These things are the gold of YouTuber and Twitch streamers, Twitlongers. All right, let's hopefully he summarizes it because I am not reading this.
A screenshot of a Twitlonger from Jay Cyrus apologizing for, as I'm understanding it, because it was a pretty small community and this incident seems to be very insular in that small community. Jay Cyrus, as the streamer, had a bunch of women who watched him, moderators even, and then he started like chatting them up like en masse and like sliding, I think just to hook up, and they're getting like emotionally attached because they liked watching him and he was just trying to have sex with them and then, you know, leave them and have sex with someone else, and basically was doing the fuck a fan contest at large. Is my vague understanding, which could be incorrect.
Okay, so that's kind of, that will be our vague understanding because, you know, dudes be dudes. I won't deny that, but it is another area where it just, once again, like the barrier between fans and the entertainer, right? That's like, it's crossing the line. That's literally crossing the line. No it's like that those things where you used to say like who would be your celebrity pass, right? Like who would you, it's like there's that line that's like, so that's kind of, well, because that's all we got at least from this video. We'll just take that for what the allegations are because there's probably other videos explaining more, but for now this is kind of where we're at.
Which includes allegations that he messaged people who were like 17, under 18 years old when he himself was adult man. So that's a
little bit spicier, yeah, definitely.
And this leads to the questions.
Not a single fuck was given this day.
Celebrities deal with mass harassment from their fans if they do things that are weird? I mean, in a perfect world, no. But
so answer that question, Liz, that he asked. Yeah.
Yes, I believe that. Yeah, in a perfect world, they shouldn't have to deal with harassment.
Look at look at all the paparazzi that we get with this thing.
Oh yeah. I'm just saying the paparazzi. I mean, that's crazy. I remember growing up with that shit around all the time. You know, it's like when is there a line to draw the harassment levels down? Like, people just want to be people. They just want to live their lives too. They don't mind being, meeting their fans every once in a while, but not like on a continuous basis and pictured for everything, little thing they do. I mean, is that a life? I don't know. Do you consider that a life?
It does seem to be a bit of a punishment in line with the job. The same thing happened with Taylor Swift. She dated Matt Healy. You might have seen this if you're terminally online as well. Everybody got upset. They looked at Matt Healy's past. They said, this is not up to snuff with what we expect from Taylor Swift. For the 1975 fans, you keep it up. But for us, this is no good. You must break up with him. And guess what? They fucking broke up. And there's a lot of power that fans have over their creators. And oftentimes, when I talked about parasocial relationships, I talked about how fans could be susceptible, maybe too attached to the creator. Most of the time, I've noticed over the past couple of years, it works in reverse. Creators, singers, artists are so susceptible and so obsessed with what their fans say. They look up indirects of what people are saying. They look at all their tags, all their mentions, all their DMs, and they form what they do in their life to heed to a lot of the requests of the fans. It's almost a punishment that comes on to themselves because at the end of the day, they don't want to quit. They want attention at all costs. They want the viewers. If they really did care and it really bothered them, I mean, a lot of them have the wealth to fuck off. And
so yeah, it's all like one of the things like, should you change because of your audience perspective, Liz? If our audience started to...
I won't ever change. I won't change who I am.
like hold us. I would say hold us accountable for the things we've done wrong, but don't hold us to a standard where to change to what you perceive. You know, like. Like most things, we're like in the lower tiers of entertainment, like low,
very low.
Like, but we still have a decent sized audience, not on YouTube, but on a listening platform for sure. You know, if you want to be a listener, like I mean, a watcher on YouTube, subscribe. It helps us a lot, and you can see our wonderful faces. Or if you're on Spotify, well, you can watch us on Spotify. But like there should be a level of what the audience has leverage to us, right? To the creators, because they shouldn't really live their lives in the way the audience should change their perspective of them, right?
Do whatever they want and live a happy life. Jenna Marbles comes to mind. But that we have a disease, a lot of us, where we crave attention for the short span we have on Earth, and so if we were to lose that would be sad. So we succumb to things. In extreme cases, breaking up with your significant other because your fan base thinks he's racist, aka Taylor Swift.
Yeah, so we'll kind of stop it out there. So I can see. We can kind of see them kind of the correlation with what happened with the Doja Cat thing. They probably broke up because of we don't know, but because of the whole harassment, because of the fans, stuff like that. It's really disappointing when a fan base can ruin like
personal life, essentially.
Because sometimes
it's a personal life.
Yeah, like because for the most part, when we deal with work and home life, it separates. Like while I'm at work, that's my work life, and then once I leave my job, that's just like gone. I don't have to worry about it, you know, nothing like that. And for the most part, creators online, anyone who's in the public space, it's harder because they are public figures for the most part, right? It can be tough, mostly when like stories like Taylor Swift, things like that, and like Jenna Marbles, where the audience has a lot more quote power on the creator, and it's like it could be hard because then it's like you're losing friends, partners, even sometimes even family because of, and it can be like, yeah, it's like wild. It's very disappointing. And I think there should be a level of there should be a line that should never be crossed between artists and creators. Sometimes, like for the most part, our listeners, our watchers, we just enjoy our content for what you get. Support us if you want, but we're here just to entertain. To have me and Liz is just have fun.
It's a hobby. It's a hobby for me. My time out of my life and to enjoy something fun.
Exactly, and for her to learn some useless information like she just did right now.
Yes, always useless more.
Like she would never have known about Doja Cat's like illustrious past, apparently. But yeah, so we'll leave it at that. Any thoughts on this topic, on this whole Doja Cat situation?
I think we kind of covered it. I mean, honestly, I think everybody's personal life should be the personal life. I mean, just like we have to have a separation from home life to work life and all that. If you have so much time on your hands to, follow around and harass them, and it's not cool. It's not cool. You need to do something more productive at that time.
What did Doja Cat say? What was her statement? Like, delete your accounts. Oh, shoot, we should have
delete your account and get to work and help the household.
There you go. All right. So this is going to be our final thing because this just happened recently with so give us 1 second.
Firmly believe.
Okay, we're back.
Much to the delight of my entire family, today we have received some groundbreaking news in regards to aliens. I feel like I'm giving some kind of press conference here about it because...
So, did you hear about the whole alien press conference that happened? Or the
No, I did not. I did not. No.
Okay, so has there been any talks in your circles about some of the more declassified stuff and anything like that as far as the...
No. Of course, I've been super busy between work and my home life, but that's not come up at all.
Surprising. Okay, let's continue then.
I feel so personally invested in it. For my entire life, my family has always firmly believed that extraterrestrials have not only visited this planet, but made contact with us, and we've recovered some spacecrafts and all kinds of gadgets and gizmos that the government isn't telling us.
What has your perception with you, your friends, and family with the thoughts of aliens?
I don't know what my family thinks. I've always been, there's got to be some multiple galaxies. There's got to be a sense of higher life up there. I mean, it just makes sense, right? This can't be the only living planet on the whole thousands of galaxies that live out there.
But there has never been just a quick talk, dinner talk or couch talk. Hey, what about that?
No, there's not even in a step in my life.
And now they've received some vindication that belief might be the truth. Today there was a hearing with a gentleman named David Grush who was claiming that not only have aliens come to this planet, but we have recovered some wreckage, some items, even some bodies.
Now they just need to forefront it and make it a museum of true facts.
And this is all sworn under oath, and he is a pretty credible source, all things considered. He was a military intelligence officer for about 14 years. He had, from what I understand, from what I've researched here, pretty high level clearance. He was a pretty important person in his post, and he is now putting all of this public at this hearing. Now, he hasn't presented any concrete evidence or any evidence like that, any proof, but his claims, he says, do have not only eyewitness supports, but real concrete proof, irrefutable evidence that he is unable to share publicly, but is able to share in private with Congress.
So what are your thoughts just hearing all that they have evidence of all this?
I'm not surprised. We've seen a lot of things coming through that have been declassified and telling us the truth. So obviously they're preparing us for the invasion.
God, no. Actually, that would be pretty fun. At least we get to see it then. If that's how we go,
before they killed me,
honestly, if that's how we go, that's fine, because then we get to know that there was something out there, right?
Yep. I sold. No, I would be complete.
Fuck me, right?
So it's a very interesting development. I'll go over it a little bit more in depth. I talked about it on stream today. Overall, though, I don't think you're going to find anyone happier about this news than my dad. After the hearing today, my dad called me just full of jubilation. It was like a kid on Christmas. He was giddy. Like a high schooler that actually just got a date to prom. My dad called me, laid out all of the details of what happened in the hearing, and was just so happy to hear someone that has credibility say these things, because it gets him excited to hear it.
I don't blame him, because there's those people when it comes to aliens and the UFOs and stuff like that, it's hard to get any level of credibility, right? It's because it's just hearsay, and it's just some crazy farmer out in the Midwest, things like that. And it's hard because the idea of aliens in itself is just it's something we want to believe. But I could see when you finally get a credible individual, it's holy shit, this is real. Wow. And he's finally there's someone out there that's, I can see that. It's for me, I'm still I'm the skeptical side right now. It's knowing that there's a high level individual who are this is more serious than I thought. What are you thinking, Liz?
Nah, I've always speculated. We move so quickly in technology from 1930s, 1940s, 1950s to now. It's just how quickly we move so fast in our technology. It almost makes it accessible. Like, oh, there had to be like not only great minds, but we also had we had to have access to that technology. So where did that come from?
How do you think your mom would react if you told her like, holy shit, there's the government actually does have aliens? How do you think she would react? Or if you
probably look at me and go, okay, I'll see you to believe it, kind of thing.
Oh, you know
I don't
what?
think she.
Would you record that and we can use that as our opening?
Sure.
Like just like start recording her and then just let her know like there's been this hearing, or actually we might get to see the hearing in a little bit and just see how it goes. Okay. And let's see her.
He really wants to see alien proof and get to experience that truth coming to light. So this was a really cool day overall for me and my family. I still don't fully believe it, if I'm being honest, because he hasn't provided any proof. It's very hard for me to just take everyone at their word. I understand lying under oath is a serious offense, but it's not like that's never happened before. You know, you really think someone would do that, go under oath and tell lies? Absolutely. Yeah. For sure. It has happened before. It will happen again. I'm not saying it happened right now, but I just don't take anything at just the face value of the claims. I would like to see some of the evidence here. So I'm very excited to learn more about it. This has got me fucking salivating for more information and more details about all of the things that he's claiming. So let me just go ahead and play the stream clips now to bring you all up to speed on what went down. How many aliens could we take in a fight? Well, according to David Grush, we stand no chance at actually fighting them, apparently.
That's fine.
Which I have always said, if they are real and have visited us, well, I think aliens are real in the universe at some point. I personally haven't ever thought they visited us, but I've always said if they did, we would stand no chance.
No, yeah, we'd be fucked.
We would stand legitimately no chance. It'd be like putting a child up against like John Bones Jones. Like you're never gonna win, right? And that's kind of what he said too. One of the questions was, are our weapons sufficient to defend ourselves against them, or something to that effect? And his answer was, absolutely not. According to my dad. So, like I said, I haven't watched the hearing yet, but once it was over, my dad called me, like damn near celebrating. I could hear kazoos going off in the background. He's like, I told you, Charlie. I told you this day would come, that we'd have legitimate confirmation from reputable sources that aliens have come here.
You know what's good? It's also happening within our lifetime, because it's one of those things like it's like one of those few things like what is someone? It's like we're too early. Like we were like there's some like we were born. You and I were born early enough for the internet, but not too for like flying cars. I think there's a statement. I forget what it is, but we're like that. We're in the middle of that. Because there's like different statements for different things. Because like some people were born, like some of our older generations were born too early enough for affordable housing, but too late for modernizations of like internet, because it's hard for them to use it. But they can live in a house. Like maybe like know how the internet works compared to like owning a house. Like I think owning a house would be better at this point. But let's continue.
And he was filling me in. He was giving me the nitty gritty behind everything here. But for those that don't know the situation, David Grush is a former military intelligence officer. We talked about him a little while ago. He is the real deal. He is who he says he is. And he does have actual pretty high level clearance, as I understand it. And a little bit ago, he came to the public. Well, he made public statements that extraterrestrial visitors have not only been here, but have been observed, and in even certain situations, we have recovered some of their shit. And they had a hearing about this today. These are huge claims. Now, granted, he has not provided any evidence. He hasn't linked to, their social media accounts for us to double check or anything. We don't have any pictures or anything like... he doesn't have a picture of an alien doing a keg stand outside of Area 51 or anything, but he is a high-ranking intelligence officer who is making these claims. So it has more weight to it than most. So they had this hearing today, just kind of going over the scope of it. bringing everyone up to speed. And very interesting. He was asked point blank if there's any real biological indication that what they have is not of human origin. And he says, yes, it is not human. When asked how many people are aware of this, like in terms of like unidentified aerial phenomena, he said thousands of pilots have reported them, but are either too embarrassed to come forward, thinking people will call them crazy, or are unable to come forward because of like crackdowns.
That makes sense. Like for sure, if you actually see something out there for pilots and stuff like that, being seen as a crackpot, like that is a definite thing. And then for those who are for sure in the military and they see something, it's all classified, blacked out. You can't say shit. So I understand why it would take so long to get some of these things, just because it's either you're seen as a crazy individual or you can't say nothing, or you're like taken out, right? You're taken out.
Are you out of your mind?
Something like that. Evidence should be king here. Well, he's not on trial. There's no burden of proof here. This is a hearing just to get all the information. He did say he has all of the evidence, but is unable to bring it forward to the public, but is willing to share it with Congress in what's called a skiff, I think, is what my dad called it, or my dad's just making up terms to make me sound like a fucking idiot. I've never heard of that before, but apparently it's like a private hearing. He said he's more than willing to give over all of the evidence he has on all of his claims in the private skiff. Yeah, that's a real thing? Okay. I've never heard of that. But one thing that I said was very fishy from the start about this story is David Grush actually had expressed written permission from the DOD to come forward with alien information. So to me, he's not really a whistleblower. He's more of like a spokesperson. I don't think that necessarily pokes holes in the credibility of the claims, I guess. But it is very interesting that they're labeling him a whistleblower when he literally has permission from the teacher.
So yeah, it's one of those things where it's like you're speculating now. Why is he saying this? And one of those things like he would have been taken out if this was like hush hush stuff like that. And he was quote given permission to say limited. I'll say this: limited things about certain things. Because for sure some stuff is still classified, and it sounds like what was that private hearing called again? Skiff, something like that.
SKIP. I'm assuming something like that.
Or I thought I heard skiff, but it doesn't matter.
I could have misheard it too.
But
I'm part deaf. I might have misheard it.
But it's definitely like it's strange. It's like are they trying to hide us, like steer us away from something? Or are they trying to prepare people for what if and when something like happens? Like, oh, it's already in the public knowledge. But we'll see. What would you want? Would you want it to just them to ease the the populace into this, or would it just be like a deterrent for something else? What would you want it to be, Liz?
I would hope it would be an easement for them to come into our lives, but also it could be definitely a charade to hide our eyes from something else that's going on in the world.
Because that's the government for you.
You know, this isn't a guy that fucking crawled through the trenches and threw up a signal in the sky in order to get us the information. He had permission. He had their blessing. Why is he doing this? We'll have his answer, and then I'll give you my answer. He believes that he's doing the public a great service by bringing this information forward, thinking that we need to be brought into the loop here, brought into the fold in an ever-growing situation here with advanced life forms. I think the reason is distraction. I think all of this is serving as a big kind of distraction for what? I don't know. But I just find it so odd that the DOD would be like super on board with it and let him do all of this.
Exactly what I was thinking.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what the distraction would be for. But I mean, here, let's spitball some tinfoil hat shit.
Okay.
Let's assume I'm right and it's all a distraction. I guess what they could do next is make claims like they need to build defense systems in order to combat potential extraterrestrials, like these big-titted goth babe aliens coming to Earth looking to harvest us. We've got to stop it. So we're going to need to increase our spending on defense programs in order to make sure that we're adequately prepared for it. But I would love to believe that this is all very legitimate. David Grush legitimately has real evidence. Aliens are real. We've recovered certain things, and he can prove all of it. That's what I want. But what I really believe is that this is all somehow a distraction.
That's a sadder thing. I think that's
where I'm really torn. I don't know. This is to date probably the most credible person to come forward with apparently other witnesses of high-ranking military origin with evidence. And we now have more access to unidentified aerial phenomena than ever. That's very hard to explain. So this is probably as credible as it's ever been. But I just don't know. It just feels artificial.
Yeah.
He said it all under oath. If he's lying, he just ruined his life. Yeah, of course. But there's a huge difference between a testimonial and evidence.
You know, he could just be a
scapegoat. We've heard the testimonial. It's all under oath, of course.
Because he could be a scapegoat, and then he'll be put. Oh my God, what is that thing? When you go when the government puts you in hiding.
Witness protection.
Yeah,
protection.
Yeah,
witness
they could
protection.
He could just be a scapegoat and then be put into witness protection. Change his name, change everything. Like it's possible. Now that's kind of a potential, you know. But it's like you said, I really hope it's aliens. I really do, because it sucks when it's like they are hiding something for some other nefarious reason. Because they could do that. Like, or it's like a magic trick. Your eyes are on him, not on what's actually happening.
Mm-hmm.
But we haven't seen any evidence yet. The Israeli space chief said the Galactic Federation is in contact with America last year. The DoD doesn't support, they just released him to say what he believes is a classified program. That's the only other comment. But that's still giving their blessing, otherwise they would have shut him down like they do most other whistleblowers. For example, like Edward Snowden, right?
One of the best examples of a whistleblower. Feel like
if they didn't want it out, it wouldn't have got out. And I don't know what the Galactic Federation is. I didn't realize we had Commander Shepard out there on the fucking Mass Effect relay at the Citadel or something talking to us. That's news to me. If this is all real, do you think they would ever tell the public the full story? No.
No, I don't think so.
If not, why do you think they need to hide it? Panic. Brother, we can't even handle the most basic concepts right now. Go on Twitter for any length of time, or excuse me, the platform formerly known as Twitter, for any length of time. People won't even accept the most obvious, conclusive, true statements anymore.
Look at what we just talked about with Doja Cat. Like people aren't just ready for certain things. Definitely. So if it's a way to ease us into this, I totally understand. But yeah, it's what do you hope to get from this list with all of this? What's the best case scenario for you?
I hope we get some truth and not some hiding shenanigans. I mean, I hope we get the truth. I'm hoping we get the credibility to come through, true, to make it 100%. I would hate for it to be a reason to, or a disguise to be, to distract us. So, as he said. So.
Or more of your tax dollars to go for something else.
My tax dollars should be not used for that kind of shit. It's used enough in that crap.
We are not ready for it. Why do we have any reason to listen to them when they provide no evidence? Because of where the claim is coming from. This isn't just like a Joe Schmo. This guy was a high-ranking military intelligence officer for like 14 years. Not exactly like the number one person you'd think to just go out there and lie for no real benefit to himself. No, he didn't say if the aliens were hot or not yet. I'm going to assume no. I've always thought if there were aliens out there, they'd be like insectoid-esque.
Okay, I think, give us 1 second, everyone. Okay, we're back. All right. So, with all that in mind, like, we generally don't know. Like yourself, I hope it is aliens to an extent. Do I hope? Because at the end of the day, like, do we have a chance if they are the hostile aliens? We're fucked. Definitely, we're fucked. Like, movies have showcased that we're fucked.
Oh, yeah, we're absolutely fucked.
And look at that shit.
But
I'll just be a slave. I'll be just like, just take me. Just take me to your leader. I'll do whatever you need me to do.
But so yeah, because if it's the other way around, like yourself, it's just disappointing because then they brought up the populace's thoughts in this idea because it's now always going to be speculated. More conspiracies are going to be done. We'll see what happens from there, because then it's just we'll see. Because for the most part, when it comes to conspiracies and stuff like that, because it gets so wild and it can be so negative, and it literally costs the people, costs them not only their time but their finances. Like, our money goes into other places. We've talked about it. Like, this is not super political. This is not. It can be, but like, we literally talk about stories of where money goes to different areas and things. It's just, it can be millions, tens of $1 million going into other things where it can be used on something else, and it just hurts populace in the long run. Because I definitely hope it's like aliens, and we might eventually in our lifetime get to see a fraction, even if we don't get a full story, because it could be some really fucked up shit. Definitely, like, some people can't handle that shit, and some people can't even handle reality. Like Charlie was mentioning. So, do you have any final thoughts for this, Liz?
No, I think I covered my bases, but I hope we do see something, or have something tangible, something that we can see and hold and feel and make it concrete to what they've been saying.
So, if they make some of the stuff like into a museum and stuff like that, would you want to go visit that place?
Yes.
Imagine
Life's short, dude. Adventure time.
Oh god! Imagine the wait time for the tickets. Like, oh, you got to buy your tickets like a year in advance. Definitely, right?
That's fine.
People,
I can do that. I can make it happen.
Oh. But yeah, let us know what you guys think, everyone listening or watching, because yeah, it's wild. It's wild. We are living in crazy times, and now aliens are almost real. Let us know down in the comments if you're watching this on YouTube or Spotify. If you want to let us know, you can let us know through social medias, Facebook, X/Twitter, Threads, or Facebook. Yeah, let us know. Because yeah, it's wild times we live in.
Wild times, yep. Mm-hmm.
So, Liz, do you have any final thoughts do you want to say about today or anything?
Nope. Be safe out there.
Definitely.
Yeah, don't need the gun. You guys don't need guns. Be safe.
Those are Liz's political thoughts right there. Her final ones at the moment. But anyways, thanks again, everyone, for listening, watching. As always, share this show on word of mouth, social media,
word of mouth.
If you want to support us, merch.tyrantdominus.com. Links are down below. As always, thank you for listening or watching. Until next time, see ya.
Bye.